Quick video here about the positioning around class 3 or anterior interproximal composite fillings. When we are in dental school, usually we are using either our fellow students as assistants or we don't have an assistant. And what it does is it causes us to not really be used to how to do these class 3 fillings. And we usually end up in dental school using a wedge, which is okay in dental school, maybe, but the issue with using a wedge is it's going to crimp a triangle in our class 3 composites that will leave a void. So we have a much simpler way of doing that, which I will show you now. So I've drawn a couple of example class 3 fillings here. We have one here on the facial on number 7, and then we have one on the lingual of number 8. And then we have one on the facial of 26, and then we have one on the lingual of 24. So, in dental school, like I was mentioning, usually we are going to maybe use a wedge, but that is contraindicated in private practice because of this method. First thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have a clear matrix that's about an inch long. Okay, and the easiest way to do this is if you consider the anatomy of the tooth. The anatomy of the tooth is perfect in that the opposite side of the cavity is perfect for you to hold the clear matrix. So let's just start off on this number 7. When I come in here, what I really want to do is to concentrate on making sure that the clear matrix goes underneath the gingiva there, the interproximal papilla, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just slide it down the papilla, and then I'm gonna hold it from the opposite side, okay? Now, as I'm working on this, do you see that it's gonna be underneath the gum line? And what my purpose of doing this is I really want to make sure that there's no interproximal overhang, okay? If I have facial overhang or lingual overhang, that literally takes me 2 seconds to deal with. But if I have interproximal overhang, I'm gonna have a catch and it's gonna take me a long time to try to get that fixed, okay? So again, look at how this works. So if I have a caries on the facial, I'm gonna slide this down into the interproximal papilla, and on the opposite side of the arch, I'm going to take my finger and hold it down, okay? So then we're here. Then, obviously this caries has already been excavated. Then I'm going to pull the other side of the clear matrix this way when my cavity filling material composite is in there, okay? Or resin modified glass ionomer or whatever you're using, okay? And if you see here, I'm pulling up. I'm pulling this way and up. Why? Because again, I really want to work on not having any interproximal overhang. You can see from the incisal that I might have some facial overhang, which again is going to take me a half a second to take care of, okay? And then I am going to pull that really, really taut, no wedge, and then my assistant is going to cure it. Now, the clear matrix, because it's wound in a circle inside of the box, it usually comes with a curve. So for this lingual, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to slide it down the interproximal, okay? And then again, I'm going to the opposite side of the arch, and you see how that stays just perfect? And then I'm going to pull it up and make sure that it's super good contact, and then we'll go ahead and cure that. For the mandible, these are some of the hardest fillings to do for graduating students. But again, with this method, it's super simple. So when I come on 26, I come here, opposite side of the arch, and you see how that's perfect there? And then when I stretch this over, with my composite in there, I can cure that, and I've got just a little bit of facial overhang. When I come back to floss, which is what I'm gonna do at every single time, when you come in there, it's just gonna be so nice that you feel how smooth it is, okay? Again, here's the positioning on number 24. We're sliding down. Usually we're gonna have about halfway. We're gonna hold it from the facial and then pull it on the lingual. And again, perfect contacts there and no overhangs on the interproximal. Okay, so summary again. We do not want to use a wedge because it will crimp opening in our embrasure. We want to use about 1 inch long clear matrix or mylar matrix. We want to slide that mylar matrix down the sulcus or down the interproximal papilla, and then we're going to use our finger to hold it on the opposite side of the arch from the caries that we have. And that method is used on all of those anterior teeth. A lot of times if your assistant is curing, they're just going to find any open area. There are occasions where they need to cure once your fingers are off the composite or off the filling. And then that method right there has yielded me the easiest and quickest and most efficient way to get through these anterior caries, which sometimes for newer doctors can be problematic if they leave those interproximal overhangs.